this is a little bit depressing what I'm about to say, and you just have to acknowledge that it's depressing and work with me through the whole conversation. Don't be like, oh my God, I hate this, like, and drop from the call. Bear with me. So one of the things I really firmly believe in terms of managing dyslexia, we're adults, so we have a lot more control on how we manage these things than we did as children. Like the whole narrative, one of the reasons why I'm started dyslexia in adults is when we were kids, we were told this dream of like, when you leave education, life will be rosy, everything will be great, you'll be an adult and you can kind of build around your dyslexia better. Well, let's do it. Like that's my theory. Like that, like let's actually do that. Because like I was sold this dream and I'm here to collect what I was sold. So one of the theories that I often say to people when they come to me and they say, hey, listen, Natalie, I'm really bad at organization and I'm terrible at this and I'm terrible at that and I need you to fix me. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if there was a pill to take away those challenges, you better believe I would be first in the queue to taking them, not any of you. So what I often say to people is, here is the truth of the matter when we're managing challenges of dyslexia. Here is the depressing bit. The warning has been given. So let's say a normal person is here in terms of like what they can manage their challenges. Now, remember, normal, whatever the hell that means, normal. And then let's say you're here with the way that you're managing your dyslexia right now. It's not going very well. There's definitely a deficit. We're definitely struggling. I get it. But let's say you built the best systems in the entire world. You spent your lifetime managing and trying to work on your dyslexic challenges. I reckon, best case scenario, you might get to here. Probably more likely, you're going to get to here. You are going to manage them better. That is a huge improvement. That's a lot. That will make your life a lot better. It's still kind of below normal, and or maybe it's just above normal. So let's say you have spent a year, 6 months, like 10 years trying to navigate and improve your challenges. For that, it doesn't feel like a good exchange for me. And so one of the things that I often advocate, and that's why this whole presentation has been put together this way, is I I am really happy to help you to go from here to here. I'm really happy to help you in that because I can see that that's a big improvement. It's going to make a bit of difference to a lot of people's lives. But here's what I think is more important. If I can help you, let's say normal is here on the high value stuff of the strengths we've been talking about. And let's say naturally, maybe you sit here, you spend a lifetime, 6 months, a year, whatever, working on it. What if you get up to here? That feels a lot more exciting to me. That is something I'm much more like enjoyable to work on. And I think will make a bigger difference on your life. And when you are, let's say normal is here on the stuff that we're good at, let's say we work up to here, you better believe your boss is not going to leave you working on the stuff that you're really bad at. They will not consistently make you do that work. They will eventually remove it from your task list because your time is better spent over here. So that's the theory. That's the dream we were sold as kids, and that is what I'm here to receive, like to get myself and help other people do as well. So it's slightly depressing. I hope it's not completely depressing. That's the theory that we're working on. So we're trying to help people get rid of the stuff that they're struggling with, so that you just don't have to do it at all. There are some stuff that you do have to do, and it is life, and sometimes there's things that suck, and that's where we need to figure out the differentials and the challenges. I hope that all made sense because it's something I normally spend a bit of time explaining. I've just done it a bit quickly there. That's what I spent a lot of time explaining to Frederick. But one of the things you just asked me there is procrastination, being kinder on yourself and managing the fact that sometimes our brains go haywire. We do 10 different things at once and we achieve absolutely nothing. I had one of those days today. I feel you. So I think the first thing is a lot, like it's a soup of things. The reason why we talked a lot about today is, although people can talk in the blue of their face about the stuff that you're good at, if you're not really clear on what it is and you're not really focusing your career on it, it won't feel valuable, it won't feel that impressive, it won't feel that good. But we talked a little bit about, and so I hope you don't mind share a bit of the detail that you talked about.
Of
You talked
course.
about how
Go ahead.
you're amazing at working with the people you work with and the value that you bring to them. So sometimes where things are going a little bit south, it is important to take that step back that I talked about and say like, okay, hasn't been a home run today. Like there has been some challenges, there has been some tough parts of the day. But last week when I was in a meeting and I did this or I did that, or when I explain something, or whatever it is, it's worth the challenges of today, and that is an important part of it, and it's something that I know Katie does, I know I do, like I'm sure many of us have to do. You do have to kind of hold both of those things in your head, and this is just a practical example we get to talk about. So that's the first thing, kind of what I've talked about a lot today. David says it's not depressing, it gives hope. I'm so glad, David, thank you so much. So I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing in terms of managing these challenges and doing this piece that we talked about here, because it's not about staying struggling, it's just about trying to adeptly manage these things and try not to let them take over your life. So with procrastination, with dyslexic challenges, sorry, one of the things I think is important in terms of managing them is, I think you have to know what's going on to be able to build the good system to manage it and to be able to like flex it when it happens. So are you procrastinating because you have a lot of work, you're overwhelmed, and you're trying to like fight a million fires, in which case anyone would struggle in this situation? Maybe in situation number one. Number two might be that you are procrastinating because you have a task coming up that you know you're going to be bad at, you know you're struggling with, and you don't want to attack, and you're just like, oh, avoid. Number three, it's ADHD and, external stimuli of things being like, Natalie, you need to do that. I don't care if I need to do that. Like, that's not the way my brain works. Am I interested in it? Is like number three reason for procrastinating. And there's many, many more, but they're the big ones. Like, it's too much. We're just kind of like just fighting fires that we can't even handle. Number two is the avoidance of difficult tasks, and number three is like, that's not the way your brain is working in terms of how it likes to be stimulated. So when I am procrastinating and I find myself procrastinating and I'm sitting there thinking, holy shit, Natalie, like it's been 45 minutes on TikTok. I'm embarrassingly addicted to TikTok. It's been 45 minutes on TikTok. Like, you got to get your shit together. I like to ask myself the question, why am I not doing this? Is it because I don't want to? Is it because I'm like scared about doing this task? Or is it because I feel in such an extreme sense of overwhelm I can't really deal? And by asking myself that question, I can start putting practical steps in place to managing it. So if it's overwhelmed, I will call Katie and be like, hey, Katie, I've got so much going on. I just need like a breath to talk about what's going on, to figure out my shit, to like understand how to move forward. And Katie will do the same with me. If it's the like, oh my God, I'm really scared about this task, I don't know what to do, either I will think, right, okay, I need to get my big girl pants on and just do this right now because like life. Or I will like think, okay, I need to get rid of this and ensure I don't do this going forward because it's too much for me. And it's really hard. If it's external lack of interest and I just don't have the capacity to, again, it's a conversation I need to have about whether or not I can do this task, and whether or not, again, that's where we lean into what we were talking about with Loren, which is the piece of like, how do we strategically get rid of tasks? So to wrap all of that up together, because I talked for a long time there and I am very quite capable of doing that. You asked about the shame. The thing is with shame is we need to take a step back and look at ourselves as a fully rounded person and acknowledge that challenges don't define us and we do have other things that we're good at. I think that's the antidote for shame, alongside what I said yesterday, the day before, about like what I said with like hating yourself doesn't help. So that's the piece that I would say about the shame. In terms of like attacking procrastination, have a stern conversation with yourself. What is going on? Do you need to build in deadlines, build in accountability? Do you need to get rid of tasks? Do you need to have prioritization meetings? Try not to see procrastination as the problem. Try and find the problem that is causing procrastination and then build the solution that actually takes you up to here. So maybe you procrastinate for 25 minutes rather than 3 hours.